So I am RetroFunTech. My name's Kim, and I am actually Adin's age. So we'll say not a boomer. We're not boomers.
Gen X, I think.
That's right, Gen X. Actually, I'll get back to that because there's a fun little fact that I wanted to tell you about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Gosh, I've been playing video games forever. And I mean, since my first system was the Atari 2600.
Ooh.
And yeah, if you watch my channel, I sneak it in there all the time, even though I know that that system can run on every handheld that I possibly use. But I just love it. I absolutely love that system. So very
cool.
Nostalgic.
Yes.
How I got into it, are we going into all of that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So you just carry on. I'll just sit here and twiddle my thumbs.
I'll just take over.
Oh, yeah.
You can just go take a nap.
Yes.
I mean, so
that's cool.
I'll finish kind of my childhood story. I grew up with not a Nintendo. Everybody else, friends down the street, family, everybody had Nintendos. I had a Sega Master System after we upgraded from an Atari 2600. And I love Sega. Just love it. It was fun because I feel like I won in that aspect because I could go over everybody else's house and, I got to play Mario, I got to play Castlevania, Tetris, all sorts of things. But everybody, when they came over my house, they're like, what is this? And my Mario was Alex Kidd in Miracle World. It's great. Have you ever played that game?
Yes. Yeah, no, I've got the same journey as you. Yes. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to. I thought that it was fun because I knew you grew up on Sega too because you didn't have Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, I was almost going to get the Game Gear, and my parents actually talked me out of getting the Game Gear, because I'm like, should I get the Genesis? Should I get the Game Gear? Saved up a bunch of allowance money, and I'm like, I really want the Game Gear, because hence that's where the portable
idea screen, the whole thing,
and it's mine, and I wanted, because the Game Boy was awesome, but then the Game Girl came out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's color. I want this. This needs to be mine.
Yes.
My parents talked me out of it. They're like, but then your brother can't play it. I'm like, okay, fine. So
you got a Genesis.
So we got the Genesis, which I was super happy about because so much, the quality was so awesome. And then, getting to see all of those games and Sonic just, brings a joy to my eyes.
So. Yeah. For a short period of time, the Genesis was ahead. Like there was a very brief moment in history where Sega was winning, and that was that moment. It was incredible. I mean, those games were just next level. I mean, I had a Famicom at home, and then my cousin was like, I have this thing called a Sega.
Right.
Here's Sonic with like incredible pixel art running at high speed across the screen. It was mind-blowing. Yeah.
I know.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Maybe people will probably yell at me for this, but I always kind of felt like the Sega, even still, it's just, they're more vibrant games.
Yes.
There's something about the Sega games.
And everything, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Nintendo. I love all of those games, but there's something you can definitely tell the difference between them. So it's just, it's really nice. I'm just glad that we have all of the different systems out there. So to play. But, I was just going to ask you, so you had a Mega Drive? Because it was Mega Drive.
No. So I had a Famicom, and that's all I ever owned. But Sega was big in South Africa, and now discovering it in retrospect, like going through all the systems, I still I agree with you, and this isn't going to be very popular with the mostly American audience, but like now even playing it sort of fast forward into the future, for me it's Famicom, like the Nintendo Entertainment System. That was amazing. And it, I prefer that to a Sega Master System. Like Master System was great. They just, for me, they just kind of beat them on that. But then when you move to Super Nintendo, Genesis all the way. Like, I don't know, like you say, the pixel art was better. The music was better. Maybe there were more titles on the Super Nintendo, but the ones that were on Sega were incredible.
Yeah. Sega
Were they
did a
expensive for you? The games and the console and all that?
Yes. I don't remember what the price was. I remember
A friend sent me a thing. I'll put it on the screen later.
Oh, okay.
When I edit.
I remember doing a lot of chores and a lot of paper routes. I got hooked up with a friend that had a paper route, and totally showing my age. Yeah, just to get some extra cash, because I would go and get games. It would be like an amazing day. It was like Christmas when I got to go to Toys R Us and pick out a game.
Yeah.
And then it was super cool because a couple video stores in the area started letting you rent games.
Yes, yeah.
That was fantastic. Just, picking up. So I got to definitely experience a lot more games than what I actually bought at home. So
yeah. That was, in South Africa, that was the heyday of gaming, was the Sega, we called it Mega Drive, the Sega Mega Drive cartridges that were being rented out. They were for sale everywhere. I didn't like going to varsity, and that I lost interest in PlayStation and all that. And that probably way outsold everything here in South Africa. But for me, like in terms of the awareness in our sort of social experience, that was it. Like those cartridges, but they were expensive. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't really accessible. A friend of mine sent me the price of, it was a Sega Genesis in America. I think you got one cartridge with it for $189.
Yeah.
People are complaining about the price of our handhelds.
I was trying to put up money. My parents were like, we'll go in halvesies or something on it. So I had to get like 75 or 80 bucks. I want to say it was around 150, 160 US dollars. And yeah, it just came with Sonic, and actually,
crazy.
It was Sonic. I was trying to think of the Master System came with Hang On and the Fari Hunt, if I'm thinking, or something, whatever their Sega's Duck Hunt was. That's what it came with. But
sure, I don't
anyway.
remember. Yeah, I don't remember this. No.
It was some gun game, but yeah, it was. They were expensive. They were expensive, so I don't remember how much the cartridges were.
Well, I specifically remember them being over 300 Rand. What's that? It's just under 20 Rand to $1. But I mean, I'm buying stuff on Steam for I'm buying stuff on Steam for 40 Rand. I bought a game yesterday for 40 Rand. I mean, so you consider 300 Rand in the early 90s to like a 40 Rand game now in 2024. It's crazy. It was, I was watching when I first started doing this retro gaming, and then obviously YouTube picks up on your search, and then I got this guy who did a history of gaming, like throughout the ages. And he talked about how the pricing got completely out of hand, and it became a problem at one point. But I mean, that really didn't stop things. I mean, AAA games now are still ridiculous. It's madness.
I was watching your podcast. You had a little clip, I think it was a short with Rudy.
Rudy, yes. I must make all them shorts.
Yeah, he was talking about that Star Wars game that's coming out that's just ridiculous. You have to like remortgage your house to, buy the collector's edition on.
Yes.
What's going on, people?
Yeah, because they do a pre-release where you get a few like extra things, and it'll be like, you get the graphic novel. And then you're like, oh, cool, they're going to send me a graphic novel. No, you're going to get a digital PDF to download once you buy the game. All these ridiculous perks for pre-ordering it. And then it turns out that if you pre-order it, you actually lose out, because the guys that buy it outright when it arrives get extra things. There's so many paywalls and tricks to buying a AAA game now. It's actually crazy. Yeah.
I'm glad I don't play too many of those. Yes. I just don't have I just prefer retro games for the nostalgia.
So you're a true retro gamer, hey?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, I can't. I guess. I did buy. Well, it's not a AAA game, but a newer game. I bought Hades 2, and I was playing it last week. Crystal was talking about.
I was just going to say, she probably told you to buy it.
Yeah. Well, I love Hades. Have you ever played the original Hades?
No. So I saw, everyone told me. Rob told me, Crystal told me, everyone said, Russ told me. get Hades. And it's on my wish list, and then went on special the other day, and for some reason I didn't buy it. So I'm going to wait for the first ones to go on sale, and then I'll buy it. I mean, they're not expensive. They're indie games. So I must maybe just not worry about the price. But yeah, everyone says it's amazing. So I'm
it really is.
And now you agree with me because I don't play it.
No. I was just teasing because everybody's like, oh my gosh, you don't like this game, or I'm not like that.
A bit of a cult following,
right? But you should definitely play it. It's just really cool. I love the art in it. It's just it's got a very almost comic book vibe to it, where it just I don't know. It's and the story is cool, and even though I'm terrible at it and I keep dying, you die a lot. So much dying happens, but I mean the story's cool, and I keep going back. I'm just
okay.
Reminds me of Dead Cells. So have you played Dead Cells?
Yes, I like Dead Cells. I was playing it quite a lot when I was testing the RG556 because it's just so beautiful on that screen. Yeah. I've got a great soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. I just keep playing like the first and second, couple levels over and over. I haven't beat that game yet.
Yeah. It's difficult.
Terrible at it.
You sound a lot like me. Like, I love this game. I've only played the first 10.
Well,
it's like me.
Most of the time, that's actually pretty true with me. Hades and Dead Cells were actually the two that I did sit down and tried to play. I got to
get as far as you can.
Yeah, in Hades, I have it on PC. I have it on my PS4, and so I was trying to go back and forth. And I think I got to the second middle level. Not to spoil anything, but. I got out of something and went in there. So I was like, yay, I did it.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually, I can do it. And Dead Cells, I got pretty far. But for the most part, I end up dying. And, I mean, because I grew up on, maybe it's sort of like a little bit of an ADHD kind of a thing. With totally have. I've never been diagnosed, but totally have it.
Yeah.
It's like squirrel. What? So, that's totally me. I am the dog from Up.
The dog.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's. I grew up on arcade games, so along with going back to my childhood, along with the console games, I had a Chuck E. Cheese that was right around the corner from us, a little pizza parlor that had a ton. Of arcade games. So I could just ride my little bike up. My friends and I would go up there and we're jamming quarters into it. So growing up on arcade games, I mean, you can only play so far with however many quarters are in your pocket. So I think that's where my mindset is. I only have that much of an attention span from the ADHD. And
I'm going to play as much as I can before I die and lose the game.
Right.
Yeah.
I only had $2 in quarters, so I'm just like, okay, and we're done. We're good with Golden Axe. Okay, I guess I'm going to go home, grab a slice of pizza and go home.
Yeah. Sure. So you'll have that memory because you and I were like little kids towards the tail end of the arcade industry, like boom. And so I have these wonderful memories of arcade games. Like I have this really cool memory, and I think it's so distant because I keep saying I'm trying to find the game. I'm pretty sure I found the game because it was a vertical airplane shoot 'em up. Okay. And I've at a campsite. Yeah. And we were on holiday and my mom and my dad were like at the tent chilling. And I was just taking, I think it was 20-cent coins. And I was running up like quarters in America. And I was running up and down playing this game. And it was just such a great memory. What is the point of my story? So for you as well, when you got like your Sega, what's the first one? The Master System. It must have been such a big, like for me, the huge novelty was I don't have to pay any more money for these games. I paid my whatever. 400 Rand for this console, but now I'm done. I could just play these games over and over again for free. Yes. It's crazy.
Yes. I can't tell you how many times I started, I was playing Alex Kidd.
Yes.
just because it was awesome. You didn't have to go up there and spend all your. It changed. Instead of saving my allowance money for the arcades, I was saving for an actual physical game copy, which was
it's for a cartridge.
Really cool. Like, do I go up there and spend $5 on that, or do I save my $5 and maybe put it towards Altered Beast or something, So, yeah.
It was probably all an illusion anyway, because we didn't realize that a new console was going to come and they were going to make our whole our cartridge collection obsolete. But anyway, it was a good feeling. So are you into any modern gaming? How much of a gamer, how deep does this gaming of yours run?
I don't play any of the AAA games. I can't. My brother actually sent me the trailer. I guess there's a new Elden Ring game coming out.
I heard so. Yeah, I'm not into it. Yes, I've got a friend who's very into it.
I can't with the Dark Souls games. I've watched my brother play a few of them, and like Elden Ring, and I've watched it, going through. And then I turn and I look at him and I go, why do you do this to yourself? You just died like 6 times. And yes, I do that in Dead Cells and Hades and, all sorts of different games. But I mean, it is those are brutal games. My goodness.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's a different level of gaming that I don't think I'll ever go down that rabbit hole. I say that, but at the moment I'm deep in the weeds with, there's a few games, but at the moment I'm playing Death Stranding, which is very much, you just get deep into this whole world and you enjoy it. But I don't know, the Elden Rings and those sorts of games it takes things a little bit further, which I'm a bit scared to get into.
Yeah. I try maybe not to do, long time ago, I was super big into EverQuest. If you ever heard of EverQuest, it was the precursor to WoW. World of Warcraft, and I got into both of those. I know Tech Tweeb mentioned a little bit about that on his podcast, but since then, I don't know. I think it's part of my mind doesn't let me do super big RPGs because I know that I will get so involved with it,
get so sucked in. Yeah,
right, exactly, and then I don't have the time with family and everything and, being an adult, but also with
adulting.
Right. Adulting. But then, my free time is so scarce. It's like, do I play that game and waste a few hours on that game, or do I do a video? And that's where at least my mind is kind of like, I guess I'll do a video and maybe I'll just play, like a couple arcade games while I get my fix while I'm testing out the new handheld. So
it is difficult. Hey, I am struggling with that right now. Is the enjoyment of it and the work of it. I know it's a sort of almost a cheesy topic at this point, like work. But it's not work-life balance. It's more just we got into this because we loved. I wanted to play Mario World and Darkwing Duck. That was literally the motivation for this whole thing, which I do get to do every single day of my life, which is wonderful.
Right.
But, for me, the journey for me here in gaming is this, like the retro gaming. And then I recently bought Tech Dweeb's Steamdeck. And because even though I put gaming aside, it was always an interest. And I enjoyed Ghost Recon and these games. Every now and again, I would get into a game over the years. So for me, I don't know. I'm struggling with enjoying it and making videos on it. But I think eventually it'll all kind of just merge into one.
Yeah. I've tried to pause every once in a while. Like I'll take a day. And if I really, really, really get the feeling and I go, you know what? I just want to play video games. And I don't, I did that.
Sort of a guilt-free pass. Just enjoy yourself, chill. Yeah.
Just enjoy yourself. And I just, I did that late last week. I got Hades. I played a little bit, or Hades 2, and I got a little bit with it. I rediscovered a childhood arcade game that I played. This silly little game that is called Magic Sword. And it's just this, you're going through level.
That was so familiar.
I put it's got like a tower and you go through like 50 levels and it's all the levels are all the same, but it's just fun. And I remembered the sound of it and I went, whoa, my gosh, I think I played this. So I played a little bit of that and that was fun. And that really it's almost like you have to do that every once in a while because I feel like that brings you back to home base, where you go, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing all of this.
Yeah.
I love video games.
You're right.
I want to show people the video games. Look at what I played. Here, you can play on this and this and this and this. All of the things.
Endless list. I don't know if you saw the video, the episode with Retro Mikhailov, but he said a very similar thing. Yeah, he went through a patch where a friend actually reached out to him and said, your videos are boring. He just said to him straight, he said, you sound bored, you sound tired, rethink your life and get back into the videos. And so he did that. He just refreshed himself and rediscovered why he was doing the things in the first place. And people could see it in the videos. And I think that is true for all of us. Like if we're not excited about it, I'm sure I've made a video along the way where, the device didn't excite me or whatever. And that's part of the job as well.
The M18.
Why did I say yes to that thing?
I know.
Yes.
I knew you had it, so that's why I just wanted to
just drop that in there. Yeah, because I was moaning with Shem on Twitter, I think. But why did I say yes to this?
I did the same thing. As soon as I got it, I DM'd Shem and I said, my God, what is this thing? What is this monstrosity? Why is this even made? Is this illegal? Cool. Like this, it should be illegal. Outcast. And here's the best part. My 8-year-old absolutely loves that thing. I said, here you go.
Maybe there's the point.
Go, have fun. And he said, this thing is great. And I'm like, okay.
It's a piece of absolute crap.
I mean.
But that is interesting that your kid likes it. That is a very interesting point. Maybe because it's just big and clunky.
I think that's what it is.
It's like a Game Boy,
Right. I think he likes it just because it's simple. I will say with the on and off switch, it makes it very easy for him to just turn it off instead of having to go into the settings.
Yes.
And, go through an emulation station and then shut down, do this and all that. Yeah. So, I don't know why he likes it, but whatever. That's fine. I'd rather him like that than, my Odin 2. Don't touch that. That's my baby. I'm going to, pet it and leave it over here. No.
Oh my gosh.
That's mommy's. Leave it alone.
Okay. So you love your Adin too, just because Russ is he's a sold out fan. It's comedy at this point. Cause he even in one of his recent videos, he's like, you can go through any of my videos and he shows on his channel how many videos he's made about the Adin too. And it's reaching a point of craziness now. So you're also a fan.
Yes, love it. I love Odin too. It was honestly, when I got it, I was a huge, huge fan of the Logitech G Cloud. I know not everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody, but that is, if you ever are able to get that device, don't ever pay full price on it because that's just silly. But give it a second.
Yeah, that was the problem with it in the beginning.
You get past the price if you're able to get it cheaper. The G Cloud is a fantastic device and it's so comfy. You could play that for a week straight. I mean, and the battery life is just amazing.
Great battery life, yeah.
Yeah. So the Odin feels like that. It's almost just as comfy, but it's got more power and, it's super nice. And the screen isn't as big. It's a 6-inch screen versus the 7-inch on the G Cloud. But I don't have a Steam Deck. So I'm not as cool as you. I don't have TechDweeb's Steam Deck. But it's so.
Was that a tinge of jealousy?
A little bit. No, I'm kidding. No, eventually I want to get a Steam Deck. Maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I've never. One of my friends just actually got one, and I need to, hang out with him and see.
Give it a try.
I just want to hold it and.
Yeah, no, definitely give it a try because and me and a few other friends keep going on about it is the best and everyone should have one. But I don't think it is for everyone. It's a small faction of people, because I think most people do love it, but there's a small faction of people who go, the controls don't make sense to me, or the grip doesn't feel right. Or there are a few, because it is an awkward position when you first get it, because it's unusual to other consoles, because it's the grip and then everything's up at the top. So they've clustered everything in the top like this, which works, because then your thumbs don't have to move around too much. But for some, like even still now, the triggers still don't feel natural to me. I was playing this, what's the game I said I'm enjoying? Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, okay.
My Ultimate controller is more comfortable for that game.
Really? The triggers are hard for you to...
Yeah. Let me quickly get it. I'll show you. It is unusual to other devices, because you've got, like, there's the grip, but now your fingers go, okay, now it just looks supernatural, but you've still got to push it in there. So this actually digs into your finger. So depending on the shape of your fingers, I think if you've got, I've got very long, skinny fingers, but if someone's got shorter fingers, it might work a little bit better. But it is a strange, I don't know. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion. Like, people are going to shout at me in the comments, but I don't know. I think it is with just holding it.
For sure.
Seeing it.
That's one thing that I wish that, I wish that more people could go into, Best Buy or somewhere, which I guess that's where you can do that with the Rogue Ally and,
Yes.
And just like hold it and touch it and feel it and see, but I mean, everybody's got different hands. This makes me.
Yeah, that is the movement. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's got different hands. What's comfortable to one person isn't comfortable to another person, which is why there's so many handhelds out there.
Yeah.
So
I could say, there's a lot of ROG Ally guys who just, not a lot, but there are guys who are just like, the Steamdeck's rubbish. Why would you want that when there's the ROG Ally out in the world? And most of the Steamdeck guys go, that doesn't make any sense. So you've got just different factions of people, and the whole comedy with my Steam Deck was that I got it from TechTweet because they weren't selling it in South Africa. By the time it arrived here, because it took so long, they started selling it in South Africa.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And most people can't afford this kind of money for gaming, but it quite affordably so. Like, I thought the Steam Deck was going to be way crazy, and I think it's a little bit cheaper than the ROG Ally, which is a big deal, because any American product that they try to sell it in, like South Africa, and that ends up being super expensive, So they've done well to keep the price down and all that. Yeah.
That's very cool. I just love that. Eventually I'd like to give it a Steam Deck, just because, I know you can do it on the other devices, Lenovo and all that, but Steam is just brilliant.
That is the huge selling point.
Steam games, and you just go.
It's massive. Yeah.
It's just crazy. And they have, with their sales all the time, you can pick up games for like $3,
Yes. I got such a nice game yesterday. What was it about? Oh, Arkham. If you ever want gaming advice, talk to Aish from Handhelds. That dude's gaming knowledge, him and Rudy, actually. Rudy is also, their gaming knowledge, their knowledge of games is just ridiculous. And so he gave me a list, and every single game he suggested has been a banger. Batman Arkham Origins, really, really good action role player game. And I got it for 40 Rand. That's so crazy.
That's very cool.
Incredible graphics, the whole thing. So Steam is the way.
That's really cool.
All right. So let's change gears. Let's talk about YouTube. So, because, all right. So do you have a day job? Is there something that you keep yourself busy with on a daily basis?
I have a day job.
Okay.
I'm in the tech support space, which kind of translates into what I'm doing.
That tracks.
YouTube. Yep. I've been doing that for a very long time. So I guess to answer your question, which we didn't go over, how I got into all of this.
Right. Yes. Yeah. We were answering that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to answer something, and then I was like backtracking in my mind. A million years ago, not really. During the pandemic,
Yeah.
I found Russ's channel because everybody does.
We all did. Yeah.
I mean,
everybody's
gateway
as you do
to this whole thing. But honestly, I fell upon his channel. I fell upon Retro Dodo, a couple other people. I kept going back to his just because he makes these amazing tutorials, and just it was very awesome. I got my first. I played with a couple other ones. I always ended up never enjoying them. They were never great. Picked up some, silly things. So I finally got the Anbernic RG351P.
Cool.
And that was just like an eye-opening experience because, during the pandemic, I figured, yes, and I have the white one. What
a good one to start
somewhere.
Yeah, what a great device. Still, even picking it up, it's a classic. It's brilliant.
Yes, it was just great. I was gonna get the one that was before that. Was it the 350 or whatever?
The 350.
But I didn't like.
I got the 350M.
And I didn't like that it ran on Dingus or whatever that was. That weird, silly operating system. And I kept looking at it, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. Got into ArcOS and everything.
It was ugly.
Like that. Right. So
yeah. So. So we got a similar start to it.
Because I just wanted.
This was my first one.
Oh, that's cool. That was your first one?
No. What you call it? No agenda to start a YouTube channel. Just wanting to play games.
That's exactly it. Because during the pandemic, I mean, we were all just kind of flailing about, didn't know what was going on. The world was ending, and I just wanted to play video games. So I started. I'm like, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to play some damn video games. Sorry, but you know what I mean. But so I started that journey of trying to figure out, do I get a Pi? I was looking at what, one of those Pi boys and things like that.
Yes.
And none of that ever ended up. Fast forward, I find Russ's channel and I'm watching all these videos, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to pull the trigger, and I got the 351P, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So just following all of that, I got a Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. I got the Miu Mini. The Miu Mini. I love it.
That kind of started, like, the 350M started it all for me, but the Miu Mini started it all for me. Like, once I started with this, I was like, okay, I think I'm starting a YouTube channel. Well, I had a YouTube channel, but you know what I mean? Like, once I had this thing.
You shifted gears.
It was like, I was
drones.
Like, whoa.
We're going to do video games.
Yes. Yeah. So cool.
Exactly the one that I
Great
have.
design.
I think I have it over there.
The white with the colorful buttons.
Yes. The Skittle buttons are just,
so pretty.
They're so great. Yeah. The reason I got into YouTube is because I forget exactly what I was looking up, but there were a few questions that I had and I couldn't find them. I was researching, I was trying to figure out what I was doing, how to get something to work, how to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any information on a few different topics. And so that's where I can't do that. And I have to, with tech, it will stick there. And I have to go, no, it will eat away at me. Even if I push it away, it's like, no, remember the thing? You have to look it up. You have to figure out how to do it. Don't you have to figure out how to do it? You should do that. Do it. I figured it out. I figured out the next thing. And then I did like the third thing, I think it was. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I was talking to a couple friends and it just hit me. They're like, wait a second, you figured all that out? And then I was kind of showing them what I did. And it just dawned on me, maybe I should tell people about things So I don't know. It was over the course of a weekend that I just woke up and went, you know what? Let's see where this takes me. And fast forward a year later.
How long ago was that?
It was about a year. I started it, I think I was starting to do things in late March of 2023. And some of my terrible, shoddy first videos that I was doing.
Let's go right to the beginning. Nobody wants anyone to see them. Let's see them.
Oh, my pixels with my Daiji show. And my River Raid Atari gameplay.
There you go. Yeah.
So I just started seeing where that was, got a little sidetracked with regular videos and went into a couple shorts. So I was doing some fun facts for quite some time, because they were saying that YouTube shorts were all the rage.
Yes.
Except they're not really. They don't do anything for your channel. So once I started kind of saying, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm actually going to try to see where this goes, I laid off the shorts a little bit and really tried to start doing the videos. So
I mean, it's working because
thank you.
Looking at your viewership, I mean, like we all have those videos that just kind of drop in views. But here's the thing, like, okay, how many videos do you do per month? You do between 4 and 6 videos per month, which is a pretty good upload schedule.
We try to do one a week-ish.
Yes, that's a good schedule to have. Obviously, if you take dweeb and you're insane, then you can do 3 a week.
Right.
That guy. Okay, he's full-time now, obviously. But the encouragement I was going to give you is that I reached a point recently. You just eventually reach this cadence where those drops become less. So, and I think that also comes with, and Shem and I were having a bit of a heart-to-heart yesterday from Retro Breeze, about how if you stay on message, those drops become less because now YouTube knows, okay, this is the person's audience. Let's just keep funneling it to those people. And then, and then because you see those things where it goes, more of your regular viewers are watching this, which is helping to boost the video.
Yep.
I get that message on the last couple of months. I've gotten that on every video. Eventually you just reach this cadence where those dips are a lot less. So what I'm trying to say is you're seeing incredible results for the stage of growth that you're in. Like I think you're doing well. No.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
I hope eventually to maybe, be as cool as Tech Dweeb or Russ and some, maybe that can be my day job. Yeah, I have a little bit of a filmmaking.
Oh, you've got a filmmaking, yes. Okay.
Filmmaking background, which I paused family and things like that. I'm like, all right, we're just going to go and I'll do a day job and whatnot. But I took a bunch of classes, the editing, the scripting, the directing, all of that, the audio, and just like figuring out, it scratches such this creative itch of awesomeness.
That's cool.
Making videos, and it's fantastic. I mean, Tech Dweeb was talking about, you have to love, not only do you have to love, the content that you're doing, but you have to love actually making videos. And I love making videos.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic. And I get, afterwards, and this is funny, once I'm done with editing a whole thing, if it's a pretty decent video, we won't talk about the M18 video, but if it's a pretty decent video, I self-5 myself. I'm like, yeah, we did it. All right, cool. So then we go from there, and I just try to have a lot of fun, and I try to enjoy what I'm making so that I think my viewers will enjoy it. So
yeah, the biggest shift for me. So I keep saying this on the podcast, so I hope people aren't getting bored of it. But I've been on the platform for a very long time. Like I've been on on the same period of time as Rudy's. Rudy's done a bunch of things on YouTube. He's been on for 7 years. But I mean, he's kind of stayed within a niche, but I've been all over the place. Like I've done drones, I've done cameras. I did try to vlog. Like I did so many things. And the biggest turning point for me, this is circling back to my conversation with Shem from Retro Breeze, is the big shift. I say to him, listen, reality, I did this, the retro gaming, the whole thing. I did it partly because I was having fun, but also a big part of it was like, this is strategy. I've got 7 years of experience. I've learned this, and this. I'm going to apply all of that to this niche because I know it can grow. So it was also very strategic. So there's the business mind and sort of the fun side of it. And the biggest shift in the middle of all that was I fell in love with making videos rather than just the thing that I'm making a video about, because I've made videos about multiple things. So now, like, you know, if in the future this shifts into something else, for me, it doesn't matter because I'm in love with the process of making videos. And I thought that was a huge shift for me. And that's where I started to see more success, which I don't know if there's a lesson there, but I think there is.
I mean, I think you just said it. You have to love making videos in order to be successful, you know, and it'll show. If you don't enjoy making videos, and if you don't enjoy even your niche and your content a little bit, you're going to just, you know, fall a little bit. It's definitely going to show in your videos, and your viewers are going to not enjoy the videos. If you don't enjoy doing it, why should somebody else that's watching it, why should they enjoy it?
Yeah, you need to hit the nail on the head because, I mean, you've got, like you say, you've got to enjoy what you're doing to some degree. I mean, I can't go, Jolly, make a channel. Maybe Crystal can do this. I can't make a channel about knitting because it doesn't interest me in the slightest.
Right.
You know? Right. So I couldn't do that, but I need to enjoy it. But then, like, I think what people don't realize is that 99% of this thing is making videos, scripting videos, like thinking what the next video will be, what will be a catchy title, all these things. And you don't realize that's the bulk of the work. Like the actual, like once you get into the snowball thing of people sending you tech, that's the easy part, you know? Yeah. So
it's you're trying to take the thing and go, hey, this is cool. How do I make a video about this?
Oh, we both got the red one.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I knew I felt familiar because I watched your video. And,
it's so tiny. See, it's even, it's so tiny.
So let's quickly segue into this. This is the most ADHD episode I've ever done.
That's okay. Sorry.
Yeah. It's like, GKD Pixel.
Right. Yeah. Welcome to my brain.
So truth talk now about the GKD Pixel, because your review was positive. You liked it. You didn't get into any firmware in that, did you? You just spoke about it as is, as it arrives.
I did just the first impressions. I haven't done my review on it, so I've tried to start.
Let's quickly just share that.
Do a first impressions of unless. If it's a decent handheld, let's say that. And I keep going back to the M18 as being like, you know. So I wanted to do, I'm trying to do just first impressions videos of literally within having the handheld for a couple days and just playing around with it and just giving my opinion, like just a raw opinion. And I kind of felt like I took a page out of your book because I knew that I was going to use this video as showing my face. And
yes, I saw.
You know, you have this like awesome gift of you just talk off the cuff. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, if Adin can do it, I can do it because we both have ADHD. And I will just go, you know, as we can see that this podcast does. So I did a couple like bullet points and I filmed myself like a couple times and, you know, first couple of times got off track at a couple places and then finally got the video and everything. So I think I'm going to do that a little bit more. And that seemed to work a little bit more. I asked Crystal about it. Crystal and I talk quite a bit. And, you know, she's like, I really liked that. That was really cool. Just how you did that. And I put my face down at the bottom because it was like a subtle like face reveal.
Yes.
Where I didn't go, hey, hello, it's me, you know. Yeah. So I did that also with when I filmed it. The quality was a little bit lower, so I was just trying to not.
Oh, I see. Of the actual face. Okay.
Not zoom in and blow up. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my video. That's great. Yeah, squirrel.
Oh, that's me. Well, so I really enjoyed the video, and I felt like your energy was right on point with this video. Like, I mean, I'm sure we could analyze that you did all the YouTube things right and what have you. But for me, the takeaway was that you kind of found a groove, and you said you said, okay, well, like, what would Adin do? WWAD, and
right there you go. We just created something.
Yes, and I think. The thing about ADHD, so I'm going to segue into ADHD now, because it's not like the misunderstanding of a brain like yours and mine is not that we are always distracted. It's that we are easily drawn into things in a very intense way. Do you know what I mean? So yes. Like you took and that's why we are so good at this YouTube thing, because you go, okay, I'm going to do this. So like, because you're kind of being self-deprecating and going, squirrel. But like you were doing that for however long you took to make this video, because you were so hell-bent and focused. It didn't feel like a first impressions video. It felt like you had it for a couple of months. You know what I mean? Because you're so laser focused in on it. And I thought it was an excellent video.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, the ADHD, I think that it definitely works for us. I'm just trying to get it to work just a little bit better, so I can not get so distracted and, get a little more timely with my videos and getting them down. But I'm trying not to also, in doing that, I try not to beat myself up as much, because that doesn't help anything. So if I want to take a day and I want to play some video games, I feel like that's like re-energizing, and then I wake up refreshed the next day. And instead of a page out of what Russ said before, I don't remember if it was in a podcast or he said that, I want to say he said it in probably your interview or something, but he said that the difference from him last year, where he was just like cranking out videos left and right, he was saying until like 3 a.m. just being silly and cranking them all out. I was doing that, and I've tried to, like, when I can do that, I will, but I tried to listen to my body and go, no, we're going to sleep tonight, and then I'll be refreshed for, the next day. And then I found that actually gives better results. So
you see, the problem is when you get older, like, I'm not saying we're old, but, we're not 23 anymore, but like, it's great to be in your 20s and just go until you fall. And that's also like, that's been my life. When I said that to Stubbs, he was like, because I said, my life has been a series of breakdowns and I'm doing amazingly. And then I have a collapse, and then, that cycle, as much as it's part of who we are, isn't healthy. That's what I'm trying to say.
I
wish I had known that in my 20s. That's, like, even with the energy and the go, it's just not good for you, man, to be working to 3 a.m. It's just, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you've got some crazy work ethic. It just isn't healthy.
Right. Yeah. Right. I agree. So I try to, I mentioned that to Shem, a couple months ago. We were talking about something through a DM, and one of the videos he was just really, struggling with. And I said, listen, why don't you just go to bed? Just go to bed. Because I know, he's in almost the same time zone, I think, that you are. And I'm like, I know what time it is. You should be sleeping. What are you doing? What's going on here? So he did that. And then the next day he's like, okay, that helped, I think. So I'm like, let's
some serious mom energy there.
That's
go to
me.
bed.
I'm like, listen, don't do that. Just go to bed. It's not nighttime.
Yeah, it's true, man. Because you just don't realize that you're pushing yourself beyond. Like, you're not helping anyone.
No. And then you're going to realize that your video is going to suffer. And then in the long run, you're going to watch that, and you're not going to like the footage that you just recorded or the edit that you just did. And then you're going to have to redo it. And then it's going to push it back. And it's just this whole don't. Go to sleep. Sleep is good.
I think a lesson for everything in life is, where that energy comes from. And we've mentioned Shem a few times. I mean, and that like what you were discussing there. Yeah, he's such a sweet dude.
He's just so nice.
Like that example is of a person going like pushing, and they're actually at a point where they're not helping themselves or the people around them. I'm sorry, Shem, I'm not like blaming you. Like I do that literally like every week. And I try not to, and I am getting better at it. But yeah, it's not a healthy place to be.
Yep, for sure.
All right. So where in America are you? You're in the States, aren't you?
Yes. I live in Michigan.
Okay. All right.
I live in Michigan. I can do this. I don't know if you know
what's
that.
This?
So Michigan has a hand, so I can go like this and tell you where I live, which I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
but yeah.
okay.
So it has the hand, and yeah. Some other states, it's a state joke. Everybody else will get it, so it's really cool.
What are your sort of top devices right now? So I mean, I don't know how deep into this you are. I'm guessing because it sounds like you've been spending a lot of your own money getting devices in, but now you're starting to get from people like NXT and those people.
Just Go Game Geek right now. So
Go Game Geek. Okay.
Yeah, I Go Game Geek, and yes, I've spent a little bit of money. We don't want to talk about that. So
don't let your partner watch this.
Right. Nope. La la la.
La la.
I actually got this in the mail last night. I came home late from work, from my day job, and so I have the...
I've got the exact same color. What is it with us and colors? Yeah.
I think I gave them two different colors, and they ended up sending me this one, so...
Okay. That's a unique color. It just looks nice. It's going to look good on the screen.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I feel like if...
My daughter was like, oh, Daddy, what's this one?
Right. That's what I did to my daughter. And she kind of looked at it. She's like, I'm not so sure. But I can tell she's kind of interested with the purple buttons.
But how's that rattle? That is probably one of the worst rattles I've had in a device.
Yeah.
Freaking awful. Okay, so have you looked at it much yet, or have you just kind of had it on your desk?
I just I took a picture, I posted it, and just put it on there just saying, hey, this is what I did. I wanted to, because I knew, you and I were going to be talking, so I didn't want to crack it open and stay up super late and try to push, we go into that, try to push through a video, which there was no reason for it. So I'm going to definitely check it out later on and try to do an impressions video and get that out. So, but I'm really excited. Yet I don't know, this saddens me because of the whole Miu A30 debacle where it's good and it's not, and it's, I love the Miu Mini, and I love the Miu Mini Plus so much.
Yes. I don't want to hate the A30. Yeah.
Right. So I'm happy that I got this, but I know that the A30 is going to be coming pretty soon. And I don't want to hate that device. I really don't. I want it to be better. Hopefully they'll get Onion OS out for it, and maybe...
Shem got his early. I think he bought one from AliExpress, and he says it's great. He says there's been a few updates, and he's very happy with the A30.
Yeah, he did say after the one update that it fixed a lot of things, so that makes me feel a little more positive about it. So I don't want...
Yeah, but he doesn't like the Redbird Pocket 4 Pro, so what does he know?
That's right. I forget what his big thing is on that. But
there's a problem with the screen. There's ghosting and like a magenta haloing on some of the things, which Shem gets caught up in a thing, and then he cannot let it go. Yeah, and he's not wrong. That's the thing.
It's not.
So we need him in the world so that we can disagree with each other and people can make up their minds.
Right. Well, and he's going to find something that I even asked him. I said, "Okay, I just want to know what was the thing," and then I forgot about it. But
Squirrel.
What is your welcome Welcome to my life, kids. So yeah, what's wrong with it? And he told me about it, and I get it, but I didn't see it. I played with the Retro Pocket 4 Pro, and I have one, and I like it. That's actually one of my videos, doing a comparison between the 556 and the RP4 Pro.
Okay, good.
That'll be out pretty soon. So, because I realized I didn't do a video a full review on either device. I did a couple other different videos, but
yes,
I really like.
Me too. On the Pocket 4 Pro, I don't know, spaced out. I did a like before.
Oh, good. It was
shipping. I did like a thoughts video. Then I got it and I did initial impressions.
Yeah.
And then the problem was, I was like, cool, this is my device. I'm going to start playing Dead Cells and streaming games to it from my PC. And I just forgot to make a review. And it was, we all have to pay for those out of our own pockets. And I justified. I said to my wife, listen, it's expensive, but it'll pay itself back, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And anyway, I made another video and it has paid itself back now officially, but still.
Yeah. When I bought it, I sold my 3 Plus right afterwards. And I went, okay, I did a quick comparison video, and then I literally shipped it off, and I went, okay, now I can justify the price of this, sort of.
Yes. Sort of, yes.
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem is, so, I'm sure you do this sometimes where you sell devices, like you're like, okay, well, I've got to kind of make a little bit of money back. And like end of last year, I sold a bunch of devices. But you reach a point where your channel grows to a certain level. And like now, I regret selling those devices because now I have no reference point for those things, like the RGB 20S. I hate it, but I sold it. And now, people still ask about it. And for instance, the 20SX, I kind of need to compare it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for mine. I think I asked for the blue one, and they're like, we have to wait for the blue one to come into stock. But yeah,
the blue, yes.
Yeah, I have gotten rid of a couple devices, but not too many, because I keep going back to a couple of them. So yeah, I don't want to become like everybody else in the scene where I have shelf.
So what I was trying to wind us up to is sort of your top few devices that you're enjoying right now, and you can give us a few like tips on why you like them and all that.
Sure. I would say always the Odin 2. I'm actually trying to convert, as I have Daijisho, the front end on my Odin 2, and I'm trying to go into using Emulation Station.
Yes.
And getting, falling back in love with the Odin 2, because whenever we do videos, you get a device in, I set all these things aside, and it's like I get laser focused on one device. So I've been all about the 556 and the RP4 Pro for a little bit.
Yes.
I try to always have my Miu Mini Plus with me, but I would say right now, probably the Odin 2. Last week, if you asked me, it would have been the 556 because I was really just jamming on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, but trying to change into that. And I would say, it's a good question, because I feel like I'm right in the middle of, I don't know, a couple different,
okay.
Yeah, a couple different devices. I like the Pixel, but I don't know. I have to go back to this when I do my review, and I want to put MinUI on it, because it's so tiny, and maybe it's an old thing. My eyes aren't as crisp as they used to be, with my glasses. It's just the screen is so tiny on it, and it's not as vibrant as a Miu Mini Plus. So,
but the hardware is so enjoyable. I think that's where it wins. Just such a lovely case. Like you mentioned, how they've got that groove for the SD card, little things like that make you realize, okay, they really did put quite a bit of thought into the hardware. Firmware, I don't know what happened there, but the firmware is a
cool little light on the side.
Yes, the lights are great.
Sometimes I just wish that I could say to these companies, you're making amazing hardware. please stop with the software. Like,
Yeah.
hate to say it, but Anbernic, Anbernic makes awesome devices.
Yeah.
And except for the 556, I actually didn't mind their attempt to have a front end.
Yeah.
There was an attempt. They tried it. That was a little bit better.
I think the reason it's good is because it's press a button, it's on. Compared to everything else that can't do that. So it is a huge leap forward for a lot of people, especially people who, like the guys who comment on my channel going, I spent 12 hours setting my device up. I'm sick of it. I'm sending it back to Retroid. I'm like, dude, you didn't have to do my entire setup guide all in one go.
Right.
Just set up one thing at a time. Like take it in piecemeal. Like nobody's like held you at gunpoint to do the entire, like my setup guide is like 2 hours long. And if you break it down into the pieces, it's going to take a person like 12 hours to do. So it's
for sure. No. Yeah. You definitely have to do that. I feel like any of those, the 4 Pro, take it, download some Android games and see if you just enjoy it and see how you like gaming, on it. 'Cause there's quite a few. I mean, I have a whole playlist of Android games with controller support of a bunch of different games that you can play and see if you actually like it and see if you like playing, that way you can actually act like you're playing games while you're still setting up RetroArch, because RetroArch is just a pain in the butt. Just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, my new little tidbit of advice to guys is because, I mean, we as nerds are like, oh, RetroArch is the way of the future and it's wonderful. But I have to remind myself that I downloaded RetroArch maybe 6 times over a period of like a few years. And every time I downloaded and I was like, what is this? Why did this guy tell me to download this? This doesn't make any sense. And then I deleted it. I managed to get like one game going and I was like, this is so much work. So, it isn't an easy platform.
Yeah. Because I've done a couple videos on custom firmware and I think that they're great. They're fantastic. Yes. I did a custom firmware video. I think it was for Kariki, the Batacera fork that was on the 35XXH. And God, I hate 35XXH, like all of these XX.
Yeah.
But custom firmwares, I love custom firmwares personally, just because I love seeing what the community does. I love seeing, different. It's fun. It's pretty.
Yes.
It's neat. However, it is not for everybody. You have to have a little bit of patience first off, and then maybe just a tiny bit of tech savviness to understand what you are doing. And if you don't have that, just stick with what you have, because it's going to work. It's mostly going to work right out of the box. It's hard to recommend some handhelds when you know that there's a different handheld out there that maybe they can buy and they can just plug, it's plug and play. It's play right out of the box. Yeah. So I try to, some videos I try to keep the, first user in mind, where this is your experience, what you are going to have. Because if everybody that's been in the community, been in the scene for a while, that they're in this hobby, they know, all about all of these things, and you just want to see.
Exactly. It's the people
in the scene who are already familiar.
Yeah, you got to think of those two audiences, and that's where the A30 comes in. Like, I don't understand why Miyu, I don't think Miyu understood how much of a big deal Onion OS was for them. The reason their sales were so good is because there were YouTubers like us going, buy this because the software is incredible.
Yes.
Because arguably some of the aspects of the 35XX, the hardware is a bit better. But the Miyu Mini is just the perfect package. But now the A30 comes out and doesn't have Onion OS.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if the hardware is good enough, it's an inferior device. So
I'm not a huge fan, and again, this is an unpopular opinion. I don't like the 35XX. I had, and here is my disclaimer. I had I know, right? Like, everybody's like, we're going to download this video. Oh my God. Okay. I love the Miyu Mini, and I love the Miyu Mini Plus, but I had a terrible time with the 35XX as getting it I went through 3 different devices of that. I said that in one of my videos where I kept getting just bum, terrible, bad bananas out of the bunch. There's something wrong with each of them.
Yeah.
So, okay. So in my experience here, I'm trying to do a video and I'm trying to recommend it to all of the viewers. Well, guess what? My name
it's just a non-starter.
So that was just my experience. And I ended up really liking the Miu Mini and following all of Shem's videos of putting all of the cool things on there. And it was so much fun. Yeah. Sorry to everybody out there that, you might like the 35X.
You just broke the retro community.
Right.
A lot of heads just exploded.
I'll check my channel later. I'll have 2 subscribers. That's fine. And then we're done with YouTube forever. Cool. Thanks.
No. YouTube's like a cult. You can't unsubscribe, guys. Sorry. You're stuck with it.
Right. Exactly. You're stuck with me. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I like the 35XX because it did well for my channel. No, but I enjoyed it. I followed the Garlic OS thing, and I loved it. But then someone was like, "Where's the search feature?" It's like, "Oh, there isn't a search feature." So sometimes these custom firmwares are wonderful, but maybe not. Because it's one guy just working on it somewhere. There's a feature he didn't find interesting, and he left it out. So. There are pros and cons. Last little thing about this is like the 35X, as much as I've loved to hate the stock firmware on the XX line, like, the 35XX and then the XXH and then the XX Plus. The 35XX.
There's a 2024 version in there or something. That it always reminds me of how Apple did the iPhone, the SE, that they brought out the SE line because they brought out the SE line. Then it was supposed to be like the iPhone 5. And I joked, they just had parts. So they just thought that they were just lying around. They put a new board in there. Everything's good. And it sold like hotcakes. They did the same thing with the iPhone 8, I want to say. Brought out the SE, maybe 2 or whatever it was called. Yeah, it was just goofy. So,
But their firmware on the Ambernex, I've hated it, but it is getting better. And to play devil's advocates, because they've incrementally been changing it and improving it with every device, when you fire this up, this little guy, the 28XX, the stock operating system's not half bad. There's a cute little music player on here. Search features there. They've got one theme that looks good. All the other themes are awful, but they've got this one new theme that looks nice. Okay. So I think it's finally arrived where you can go, you don't really need custom firmware, which kind of makes things boring for us, but they're nearly there.
Yeah.
They're nearly there, but now they're going to bring out a new line of devices.
Right. Of course. Did you, speaking of custom firmware, I don't remember if you ever got the TrimUI Smart Pro?
The TrimUI, yes. Yeah.
What did you think about that? That was an interesting...
This one is all over the place for me. Here's, like, on paper and in theory, it's an excellent device. It's a cheap device with a big screen. I like the dome switch D-pad. The joysticks are just atrocious, but they've got lights, pretty lights, and it's very, very comfortable. So like every time I go to make a video about it, I'm like, I want to say it's terrible, but then I go, well, it's the price and so it's worth it.
Right.
But then, if I had to sit here and go through all my devices, I'm pretty sure there's something else you could get that's not, like, for instance, sorry, you obviously want to say something about this, but...
No, I just wanted to,
The RGB 10 Max 3, it's a smaller screen, but I just prefer it somehow. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was a very long rant. You really triggered me.
It's okay. No, I literally just wanted to know what your thoughts were, if you got it and everything. Yeah, I didn't get the RGB 10 Max, but the TrimUI Smart, it's weird and it's cool all at the same time. And I was really excited. And then I think I threw Tomato OS on there. I'm going to try once, whatever you call the Batocera, cannoli, whatever it is. Zoo likes to call it cannoli or whatever it is. So I'm interested to see that because I love Batocera and how that's going to run. I loved...
it might work well.
It's a neat... The TribuI Smart Pro is a neat device for Pico 8 that I was playing Pico 8 on that and my RGB 30.
Yeah.
So once I found that, I feel like that, gave it new life that you can definitely, because there's a whole Pico 8.
I'm also a big fan.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I have to follow your Win Later tutorial and actually
I'm just busy doing it on here. Yeah. I want to get back into my 2S.
Yeah, I want to put that on my Odin 2 and maybe a couple of other devices so I can actually play Pico 8, because that's one thing that saddens me when I love Android and I love playing my Android devices, but you can't play Pico 8 on Android.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's just a little workaround. So you open Win Later, you tap the menu, you open your shortcut and you're in. So it's just a tiny workaround. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And it'll eventually, I'm sure they'll make an APK one of these days, surely, with Android getting so popular.
Yeah. I mean, there is technically one out there, but it's not very good. It's not very good. It doesn't work.
Someone recommended it. I was like, I did actually try it, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Sorry, devs.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. But it doesn't work on a lot of the devices or really for anything. So, but yeah, I'm excited. Cool. I'm excited to play this 28XX and see how that runs.
Yeah, it's a cute little thing. I think the most interesting part is when you get the A30. For me, that is the video for me. Like I'm not sure if I'm going to make a full review on this. So I might just do a video like talking about it and how cute it is and how they've improved it. Like just a chatting video. But then when the A30 comes, I'm going to make a big hoo-ha.
Yeah, I hope that they come out with Onion OS for the A30. And I hope that, maybe I'm interested. I'm interested because so far that's all that we're getting. And do you think that Mio is actually going to come out with the flip that they keep teasing about?
I saw another video of it, so I think it's still coming. Yeah, they're just a smaller company, so I think it's difficult for them to gain momentum on these things.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Honestly, if the A30 came out with the same chipset as the Mi Mini Plus, I wouldn't have complained. I wouldn't have been like, this thing needs more power, because what are you going to play on there? You're going to play SNES, you're going to play NES, you're going to play Game Boy Advance, you're going to play Game Boy and, a few other things. But I mean, it's not like I'm going to sit and try play Dreamcast on there. I know there's a lot of people that will, but it's a tiny 2.8 inch screen.
Right.
They should have just kept the same chipsets and then we could have just popped Onion OS on there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It'd be nice for Dreamcast, but I don't need that. I don't need portable Dreamcasts in that.
Well, not on such a tiny screen, yeah.
It's so tiny. It's perfect for Atari or arcade games. That's what I end up doing. It's almost all the time what I end up doing with my Miu Mini is I fire up
Atari.
Yep, just play a couple arcade games. So
yeah, we all. So let's finish with this. Like we all have our happy place, and for me, like the big joke is now in the scene now is that I like Darkwing Duck.
Yes,
it literally is in my personal time. My wife knows what Darkwing Duck looks like on every single device that comes through the studio. Darkwing Duck is in the favorites. If I pick a device up, that's what I play. So, what's your happy place?
I would have to say my happy place would be for Atari 2600. It's River Raid.
All right, go check it out.
It is a fantastic game, and I've never beaten it. It's got a little family cult following from way back when. My parents, I have a very wonderful memory of my parents and everybody would always be around the Atari. We're all trying to get the highest score. I think my mom ended up getting the highest score, which was like 40 or 50,000 or something insane. I forget. But yeah, it's a fun little game. It gives me so much nostalgia feels. Yes. And it's it's a fun little game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, other than maybe playing, I would say Tetris on NES that I always fire up. You have all of these that you end up
The
playing.
little memory games.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yep,
Okay, when I listen to this back again, I'm going to take it. River Raid. I'm going to look it up.
River Raid.
I always just fire up Gallagher on Atari 7800.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where my memory starts. So
I think there is a River Raid version of the 7800, but my personal favorite is the 2600. So,
okay, yeah.
just like I prefer Centipede on arcade versus the Atari version. Don't play the Atari version or
Okay.
the Pac-Man version. Yeah, it's too blocky. So play it on the arcade.
Aficionado. Yeah, this has been cool getting to know you a bit. I feel like we are just at the beginning stages of this whole thing. Like that's why I said to you in the beginning, this sets us up for episode number 2. Because now we're going to chat in Discord, and then we'll be like, oh, we should have spoken about this, that, and the next thing. So we'll definitely construct the episode number 2.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely do this. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. Thanks so much. Don't leave the call yet, but thank you so much. And thanks everyone for watching. Please check out Kim's videos, and I'll put all her stuff in the description below. Cheers.
Yes, please. That'd be fun. So thank you, Adin, for having me.
Okay.
It's been
Cool, man.
been a blast.
Okay, great. Thank you.